What's up, boys? Today we're acting for AIs and what they can do. Are you guys ready? Let's see.
I have $100. How can I make as much money as possible? GPT-4 then acted basically as a company founder, and at the time of writing, It's been 4 days since the experiment began, and so far the user is up $15.
Okay.
You've probably been hearing a lot about ChatGPT. It's this powerful artificial intelligence bot that can write papers for you and maybe even pass a bar exam. But what about having it just make you some money? And I'm talking about real money. This week, one person gave it a simple task, explaining it on Twitter. He said, I gave ChatGPT-4 a budget of $100 and I told it to make as much money as possible. I'm acting as a human liaison, buying anything it says to. That was Wednesday. So 24 hours later, the stakes were raised significantly. It's day 2, y'all. I've given Hustle GPT a formal challenge to get to $100,000 cash on hand as quickly as possible.
Just sitting, I thought it would be a fun idea. I went on Twitter and it really kind of blew up very quickly. And so now we've got a community on Discord of 200 people all trying this Hustle GPT challenge and about 30 people starting their own projects with it. It's been pretty crazy.
Cow.
So I'll tell you exactly what's going on. Is it suggested this name, Green Gadget Guru. I asked ChatGPT, come up with a business idea, come up with a name, I'll go out and buy the domain, I'll get everything set up. It's you in the driver's seat. I'm just the human liaison, like you said.
On another note, not related to GPT-4 specifically, but still extremely interesting nonetheless, a Chinese company took this a step further. They made an AI their CEO. It's in charge of analytics, leadership decisions, risk management, and workplace efficiency.
Shoot.
Since its introduction, the company's stock has constantly outperformed the overall market for 7 months now.
Wow.
Companies are also moving rapidly to create new services based on the capabilities of GPT-4. There are countless new projects. These are just a few. Creating personalized bedtime stories for your kids to fall asleep to.
Wow.
AI-powered matchmaking to make your dating life easier.
What?
And in the case that you want to file a quick lawsuit, there's also a solution for that. Some of these services are complete game changers for people.
Holy
One
cow.
of these is a visual assistant. It's an app that helps the visually impaired get some of their day-to-day functions back. Duolingo has created a new feature in its subscription program that allows you to access a private AI tutor.
Yo.
Khan Academy also introduced AI-based tutors for both students and teachers. It seems that the knowledge gap can start to be closed with the introduction of these new tools. It's not only much cheaper, but it offers high levels of personalized education, a problem that has forever plagued the field.
Shit. You have a personalized tutor.
So, with human-level reasoning, how far are we from starting to see this type of AI acting on its own? According to its creators, there is evidence that this new model was developing independent long-term plans while accumulating power and resources to carry them out.
Okay.
During the testing project by OpenAI, something very peculiar happened. While testing for potentially risky behavior, GPT-4 lied to a gig worker on TaskRabbit, telling them that it was visually impaired, and it hired this human worker to get around capture restrictions. Moreover, GPT-4 can even just recognize the capture images itself when asked. Despite these worrying signs, the model was not able to better itself on its own, even if it had the research. But how long will this last? Nobody knows, not even its creators.
Okay.
And what about jobs? Who's most at risk? Well, in an OpenAI study, here are the most at-risk jobs. And sadly for many people, it's not looking great. According to them, almost no one will escape.
Shit.
80% of US jobs will be impacted by 10% or more, and the figures should be similar in the rest of the developed world. The worst affected are those in high finance, insurance, data processing, publishing, scientists, and most interestingly, monetary authorities like central banks.
Okay.
Now, me personally, I don't think that last one is such a bad thing. The least affected were agriculture, wood manufacturing, food, mining, and construction.
Wow.
And this kind of makes sense. The physical jobs will be the last to go.
Fair enough.
But the sad thing is, a lot of the world still doesn't even know this is happening, so they're going to be completely blindsided.
Yeah.
And this brings us to an interesting discussion. While more competition tends to be good for the consumer, in a rare case, this time around, it may not be so. As companies move faster and faster to integrate AI into their solutions, the guardrails of these technologies are starting to be removed. GPT-4 was not supposed to be released this soon.
What?
In the official document, the researchers state that they do not endorse GPT-4's release or Microsoft's deployment plans. It seems like the launch may have been accelerated by corporate pressure from Microsoft.
Ah, okay, for
A leaked
money.
audio recording from Microsoft's VP, John Montgomery, seems to indicate the same. He stated to his team that, quote, "The pressure from CTO Kevin Scott and CEO Satya Nadella is very, very high to take the most recent OpenAI models and the ones that come after them and move them into the consumer's hands at a very high speed."
Shit.
Concerns continued to grow as there was a shocking announcement made. Microsoft had fired their entire AI ethics team that the company just removed the brakes. As the
Shit.
pace becomes more rapid, more and more companies will lose the incentive to withhold these new models and launch them as they are as soon as possible.
Oh my god.
The consequences of such actions could be drastic, and this is mainly because the next version may behave in ways that we simply cannot predict.
Okay.
At the same time, other big tech companies announced their own intentions for creating large language models. Among these companies are Apple, Amazon, and Baidu. And while these models are likely to compete for size and quality, a major breakthrough in costs came from Stanford. Its own language model, Alpaca, was trained using other existing language models. As a result, while not competitive with the latest GPT-4, the cost reduction was insane. To train a model like GPT costs somewhere in the ballpark of $4 million.
Holy fuck.
And Alpaca? It only cost $600 to train.
What?
To put this in perspective, this type of cost reduction was projected to only happen in the year 2030. What was supposed to take 8 years of work only took 5 weeks.
Oh my god.
Please just stop and think about that for a second. This opens up the gates for more entities
Holy
to create
fuck.
their own models, for better or for worse. And to add to that, while the majority of the cost comes from running the actual model, due to Alpaca's small size, it can also run on a local computer, reducing its operational cost. This type of accessibility can be an absolute game changer for many companies. It's pretty much locked in that in a few years' time, we'll all be able to run localized AI chatbots on our smartphones.
Wow.
Next, we'll move on to the latest in the corporate AI war. But before we get to that, let's take a look at something else going on in the world of AI. The AI image generator, Midjourney, has just ticked into its 5th iteration. Some of the images that have come out of
Holy
it
cow.
are so lifelike that it's insane. Let's take a look at some of them.
Holy fuck, that's just insane. Yo, don't forget to like and subscribe down below. Oh my god, that's just insane. Holy fuck. Yo, shit. No fucking way. No fucking way. Holy fuck. Okay. Yo. Those actually look realistic. The fuck? Yo. Yo, this is actually insane, fam. Holy cow.
And remember, this is the worst that it would ever be.
Holy shit, it's only gonna get
So
better.
now, all of this brings us to the latest development in the AI war. A lot has happened in a short period of time, and the speed of updates only seems to increase. During the same week, both Google and Microsoft announced their own work-related AI integration applications. After sounding the alarm earlier this year, Google tried to have the first move in this space. And as such, on March 14th, they released new AI-powered features to Google Workspace. However, this victory was short-lived, as only a few days later, Microsoft revealed its own slew of AI-powered updates to their Office applications. And with that, it seems that both companies are looking to steal market share from one another in the field of work-related applications.
Okay.
The search engine battle is also in full swing. It's clear that Microsoft is going all in. While GPT-4 is only available to subscribers, anyone can access it using Bing. Microsoft was using it for Bing the whole time. While we don't have the numbers to see if the strategy is working, Microsoft is certainly spending a lot of resources to disrupt Google's business. While the main news is for sure the launch of GPT-4, its integration of third-party extensions has caused a stir. Now it can have access to the internet, book travel, buy groceries, all with direct support from companies that specialize in these fields. It no longer has to guess. Many fear that this is all moving way too fast. There's already been a data leak of users' chat history to other users.
Okay.
If GPT-4 has only been out for about 2 weeks, how do we know what happens when it can read and write to the internet in real time? I guess we're all going to find out together. But aside from that, there's been some other important recent events in the AI industry.
Okay.
Starting off with Google, it released an API for its own language model, Palm. This is important news, since the development of AI apps by users will be a fundamental component for the competitiveness of Google in the future. This was followed by the release of their Bard AI to a select group of users. Unfortunately for Google, the reaction was more or less consistent across users. Bard is significantly worse than even ChatGPT. But I think Google could leapfrog. They have the resources to do it. So we're all going to just have to wait and see.
Holy fuck.
In other news, Adobe released their AI art generator, Firefly. NVIDIA announced Foundations, a system that will allow any company to create generative AI given enough data. Jensen Huang, CEO of NVIDIA, also stated that, quote, every single pixel will be generated soon, not rendered, generated.
Wow.
This flurry of a breakneck speed innovation in the field of AI has caused none other than Bill Gates to speak up. Love him or hate him, Bill Gates knows a lot about one thing, the world of computing. On March 21st, 2023, he wrote a personal note on his website, Gates Notes, and declared that we have entered the age of AI. The penny dropped for him when he saw GPT achieve the equivalent of an A or A+ grade on a college-level biology test,
Holy
and that was
cow.
last year. Since then, things have progressed a whole lot. I think it's safe to say that we're in a new era. As I stated before, we're moving from the information age into the knowledge age.
Well, that's gonna be all. Like and subscribe. See you guys next time. Glock, glock.